Probably the reason Ozzie brings in Ryan Webb, plus the fact that Hill has 2 more hits aside from that homer. He's 3 for 3. Jason Kubel is 4 for 4. 12 hits for the Diamondbacks, a 3-0 lead. And the first pitch from Ryan Webb is a knee-high strike.
Yeah, and Ozzie sees the absolute importance to keep this a 3-run game. And so he brings in Ryan Webb, the good sinker slider, to go after a tough right-handed bat.
Upton at second, Kubel's at first. Webb to the plate. Hill is another example of a guy from California who ended up at a school far from home. He grew up in Visalia, California, Central Valley. And he played his college ball at LSU. Kind of like a Ryan Braun or a Pat Burrell who found their way to the University of Miami from California. Burrell from, I want to say, San Jose, and Braun from Southern California. Two and one. 32,000 in the house. Actually 31,949. And it's been all Diamondbacks tonight. Webb 96 with some good movement.
Yeah, good live fastball there. That's a different lineup the Diamondbacks have. Certainly produced tonight, though, but without a Stephen Drew, without a Orlando Hudson, without Chris Young. Good job.
Webb strikes out Aaron Hill. But the Marlins need some runs. They're down 3-0. Pollock with a couple of hits, a bunt single. And he singled and scored in the fourth.
You were talking, Rich, about Don Baylor, and you know, in his era, the on-base percentage wasn't as big of a deal. You didn't hear it spoken of as often. But a guy who not only had power, you mentioned the stolen bases. He had 285 stolen bases, 338 home runs, but was hit by so many pitches. He had an on-base percentage of close to 350 in his career. So he did a lot of things.
And Baylor was a guy, he was a terrific football player growing up, I believe, in Texas. He injured his shoulder playing football, and it was his throwing shoulder. And so that kind of made him a first baseman designated hitter because the shoulder gave him some issues during his playing career.
Over 2,100 hits. He was hit 267 times.
Big years with the Angels. Break in with Baltimore.
First came up to the big leagues with the Orioles. Yeah, you talk about a big year. 36 home runs, 139 RBIs in 1979 for the Angels.
Oh, 2 to A.J. Pollock. You know what we need right now, Tommy? We need that dancing coffee cup that we saw in New York just to perk everybody up.
That'd be a good pick-me-up, yeah.
It's the biggest coffee cup we'd ever seen.
we drank that thing, we'd be wired to San Francisco.
Just about got Goldschmidt.
Real close. Tag up a little high. He was able to get his hand on the bag.
0-2 to A.J. Pollock, who takes outside, whose middle name does not begin with J. I think it's Alan Lorenz.
Yeah, I believe he's a junior, thus the J.
So yeah, I like the A.J. Pollock. Sounds better than A.L. Pollock. Now, he was a terrific baseball player at Notre Dame. I mean, as a baseball player, can you call him a Golden Domer, or is that only for the football team? Because they have the Golden Dome, but
that might just be for the football team.
We'll ask Jeff Smarja when we see him, because he did both. Two. Runner on the move, swing and a miss. (7-3) Arizona. Stuff that I had no idea existed, like on the pillars as you walk into the entrance of Marlins Park. On the pillars, there are like a photo and name of the starting lineup. So if you walk in, you'll walk by Reyes, Bonifacio, Hanley, Morrison, Stanton, or whoever's in that starting lineup. That's a very cool thing to do. Then you can walk by the Bobblehead Museum, which we've already featured on television. The Marlins team shop has an entrance from the ballpark and from the street. And by the way, if you're aching to get some Marlins gear and you're down in this neck of the woods, the Marlins team shop is open during the week at 9 a.m. And you just park by the West Plaza and walk in, and all the latest Marlins gear is there. Great sushi place. There's a very popular barbecue place. There's a look at the team shop.
We've talked about it, the Miami Mex with the tremendous fish tacos, steak tacos.
Miami Mex is where you get the steak tacos.
That's right. Burger 305.
Diamond Juice Bar for smoothies.
You've tested that out already.
Webb thought he had a strikeout. Counts 2-2. Burger 305. Two. That one pulled foul.
By the way, wanted to give a shout out and a get well. Hope he's feeling better to our own Cliff Floyd. So Cliff's doing well. We'll see him while we're on the road. I mean, we'll see him in the studio. A little under the weather.
Maybe we'll bring him some Brother Jimmy's Barbecue, which is the barbecue spot here in the ballpark, which is, and I haven't been there yet, but everybody tells me it's outstanding.
Speaking of outstanding, Ryan Webb has been outstanding since coming into the game. Faced 3 hitters, retired all 3 hitters. I think he may have thought that was 3 outs.
Or he just knew that Ozzie was going to take him out of the game. Yeah, I'm coming out.
Whoopsie.
Hey, it's happened to me. It's happened to you.
Oh, yeah.
It's happened to our producer and the crack staff as well. Randy. 3-1, Rays on top.
We'll see how Joe Madden's going to play this with his cleanup hitter up there.
Upton an RBI single in the third. And a fastball that misses in.
Upton does like to pull the ball, so this is definitely a guy with Webb. If he gets some good action on the ball, middle away, you kind of sink it back down towards the middle, or out of third, he could possibly get himself a ground ball right here for a double play.
We were talking earlier in the game about the lack of production for the Rays in the 3 and the 4 spot. Upton fouls that one into the glove of Buck. The Rays had not had a home run, period, a home run out of the 3 or the 4 hole since the 19th of May. Hideki Matsui last Friday against Baltimore, making ball swing and miss. But Upton got an RBI out of the cleanup spot. Joyce has had a double and a homer out of the 3 spot.
Rich, we love it when our crack staff listens to things we say. Preston Wilson against Steve Traxel, 8 for 20, 3 home runs.
Now that's a patient hitter that can wait out Steve Traxel.
I think
that split, he didn't split real.
That may be one of the few times anybody said that I was a patient hitter. So I appreciate that, Rich.
1-2 to Upton. And Webb gets a strikeout. Upton doesn't like the call. Buck trots out to talk to Webb.
Well, see, Corey Blazer has Preston, or not Preston, excuse me, has Hanley mad at him. You're not mad at him yet. He's got Upton mad at him.
But
both pitches were strikes.
Absolutely. Both pitches were in the strike zone. That had a lot of the plate.
That's a strike, and the one to Hanley was a strike.
Yep. I think Corey Blazer's had a good game behind the plate.
Yes, he has. Those are 2 good pitches. Those guys, even though you might want to complain, when you go back and look at it, you have to be, have enough about you to come back and say, look, man, I went back, I looked at that pitch, it was a strike.
You ever say that?
Well, Posey is 0 for 3 this afternoon. Down low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Very respectable first pitch breaking ball.
Rolled foul right past Angel Pagan, and that evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. The Webb gets a new baseball. You see him rubbing it up. Outside corner, 1-2.
Backdoor to that sinking action. You can see the movement on the fastball from that camera angle. Steve Edlifson heading down to the Giants pen.
Right off the end of the bat, so Posey stays alive.
Well, he just did catch a piece of that one.
One ball and 2 strikes.
Setting in.
And Posey with a good take, 2-2.
Webb's not an easy guy to lift. See the movement of that fastball. He gets more ground balls than fly balls. Angel Pagan on deck, greasing up.
And again, Buster Posey just got a piece of it. It remains 2-2.
Good to see another day.
Two and two. Got him. So Webb comes in. He gets 3 outs. It's 3-2 Marlins.
2-0 lead over the Padres continues. Frank Francisco is in trying to shut it for the Mets. R.A. Dickey went 7 1/3, 3 hits, no runs, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk for Dickey.
He has been remarkable with the control he's had of that knuckleball. Here's how you're thinking if you're Bruce Bochy. You're going to give Belt a chance to drive in this run. If he doesn't, then you got to file away and look for a squeeze from Arias, who's on deck, who's the next hitter.
Belt's first at bat of the ball game. He came in 3 innings ago defensively at first base. One of the areas where the Giants aren't getting the production that they hoped for is first base. Brandon Belt, Brett Hill, that platoon hasn't quite worked. Huff got the start there today, and Huff is scuffling. And some people ask, well, geez, how did the Giants do it in 2010? You forget that Huff had an incredible year. He was in the MVP balloting, and rightfully so, with the totals that he had in 2010. Cody Ross, of course, got hot at the very end for the Giants, especially in the postseason. Webb misses in. The count's 2-2.
You have quite a few National League first basemen struggling. Kind of a lock for the All-Star team would be Joey Votto, Cincinnati.
And normally there was a long line at that particular position in the All-Star balloting. But Albert Pujols is gone.
Prince Fielder's gone.
Prince Fielder's gone. Gabby Sanchez is in AAA. He was an All-Star there last year.
There will be a first baseman this year in the American League that might get squeezed out because of the number of qualified first basemen over there.
Counts 3-2. The infield's still in. Belt has waited Webb out. That is strike 3 right down the middle. 96 miles an hour. Now, here's what you talked about. If you're Bruce Bochy, do you get creative? Do you try to squeeze home this run with Arias?
I'm sure it's in the back of his mind. By the way, Ryan Webb, the last couple of times out for him, he's had some terrific velocity shown on that last pitch, 96. But it's certainly a play you have to think about. I'm sure Ozzy's thinking about it too.
But unfortunately, the Marlins have come back to take the lead here. Now 8-7 in the 7th inning. Ryan Webb has come on to pitch. It's a double switch. Webb is going to bat in the place of Gabby Sanchez. That's the 7th spot in the batting order. We have a new left fielder, Brian Peterson. And the former left fielder, Greg Dobbs, has moved from left over to first base. And the batter is Cameron Maben. Against the former Padre right-hander, Ryan Webb. These two guys are traded for each other. So Ryan in the clubhouse today, went over to say hello to Heath Bell and to Edward Mujica. And Webb said, yeah, it's been going okay. He said he's kind of that kind of guy that he'll tell you the truth is what's going on. He's had a couple of good outings. He's had a couple of not so good outings.
Well, he's got that power sinker, we remember, and the velocity mid-90s. Slider and a changeup from Webb. Great movement.
And it's 1-2. There was a time where the Padres tried to get him to change his delivery a little bit, to get more, as you like to say, on top of the baseball,
right.
and he kind of resisted for a little bit, figuring that the delivery he had got him to the big leagues.
Right.
Evens the count there, 2-2.
And you watch a kid like Ryan Webb pitch. As you take a look at the big right-hander coming right at you, and you look at his stuff and the way it moves. How does he ever get hit?
Yeah, you're right.
Know?
Full count.
That's a 95-mile-an-hour two-seam sinker. I would say he's a pitcher that falls into the category, Andy, that throws a heavy ball.
Yeah.
Right?
Like trying to lift a bowling ball. Full count here on Maben. And he got him swinging. So 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, if you're hitting the road, you can certainly take Fox Sports San Diego's coverage of the Padres Hyatt with 2 in the 6th and a 4-run 8th. And that is the difference in the game. Ryan Webb, the new pitcher, former Padre right-hander.
Looking for a grounder. Hard sinker from Ryan Webb. We saw it the other night.
And Chase Headley at the plate takes ball 1.
He'd get that sinker up to 95, 96, a slider and a changeup. Opponent's hitting under 200 at 191. Doing pretty good on the, not bad on the walks either. See, Ryan Webb is the type of pitcher where he can throw the ball down the heart of the plate and let the ball do the work. And when you get the heavy sinkers, which move a lot, you start having pitchers that start nitpicking a little bit. Hitters know that. They lay off of it, and they have a 2-0 count, just like here to Chase Headley.
And he gets the strike. Ryan Webb came from the Oakland A's to the San Diego Padres. That was a deal that everyone around here likes to call Scott Hairston 1.
That's
It
right.
was reacquired. So that was the first Scott Hairston deal. Had some success with the Padres. And of course, his trade along with Mujica to these Marlins got the Padres Cameron Maben. And much like that deal that the other day was made from Ernesto Friera, you deal from a position of strength. You have numbers in your bullpen and guys you have confidence in the minors, and that's what allows you to make those deals.
And abundance, right?
Yep.
Of arms.
Never have too many of those. Strike 3 call.
Oh, good pitch. Comeback two-seamer on the inside part of the plate to the lefty. Ryan Webb brought in to chase Headley. Righty on lefty. You can see. Now here's the key. Away, 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 right? That one's down the middle. Slider trying to backdoor. Now he's got him aware of the backdoor slider, and then he just freezes him with that two-seam fastball. That was a great setup right there by Ryan Webb to get Headley.
So here is Ugla. It's 4-1 Atlanta. The Braves got 2 in the 6th. Single run in the 7th. Another run here in the 8th.
I hate when I get knocks like that.
Uglin 0 for 3 night with a couple of strikeouts. Well, McCann hit that ball a long way. Ugla takes a strike. Oh, 1. Misses away. Marlins will have Stanton, Ruggiano, Morrison in the 8th. Of course, course, Freddie Gonzalez can lean on that really good bullpen. He's already had Durbin and Venters pitch a couple scoreless innings. Of course, he's got Craig Kimbrell if indeed he needs him in a save situation for the ninth.
And all Kimbrell has done this year is save 17 out of 18.
Prado and Bourne at the corners. One and two.
Wow. That 94-mile-an-hour fastball had a good part of the plate. I guess Field and Cobra thought it was low.
Let's see what he gets. 2-2. Prado's running. Breaking ball. Strike three call. Down goes Uggla. Marlins give up another and trail it 4-1. And match with a lot of things that have gone wrong here in the eighth inning. Edward Mujica, normally the reliable, couldn't get anybody out. John Buck trying to pick a runner off third, threw it into left. Choate gets the out. He gets the hitter that he was assigned to get. That was Giambi. Now, with Ryan Webb coming in, Eric Young Jr. will flip around to the left side. As Tommy pointed out, he's a better hitter from the right side, but a threat to bunt.
Yeah, and you certainly going to bring the infield in with one down. In the back of your mind, squeeze, but you usually on the road aren't going to squeeze for one run to tie the game when you're on the road. If you were at home, if the Rockies were playing at Coors, it'd be a different story.
So Webb is on, infield is in, Rosario is at third base. It's a one-run game. That is a strike. Webb, a Padre, and Young, a Rocky, have faced each other.
Good slider, and quickly ahead 0-2.
That's a nice pitch for Webb to complement a very good sinker.
If he can command just those two pitches, he's tough.
Oh-2 coming. Breaking ball didn't come far enough. Fox tracks, has it just off the plate. That's close. One-two coming. He got him with a fastball.
He went back with heat, 96 miles an hour. Boy, some great pitches by Ryan Webb in that AB to strike out Eric Young Jr. Showed him a little bit of everything and put him away with the high heat. Nice four-seamer. We talked about sinkers, two-seamers. That one he ran up in the zone.
So there are two outs. The tying run is still at third. You've got a good contact hitter in Marco Scutaro up right now. Scutaro. We've also talked about the dimensions of this ballpark. Don Baylor, the hitting coach, former MVP, former manager of the year.
Must be a saying, a guy like him made all ballparks small.
Well, here's what he had to say. Batting practice, first night, he was watching, he watched the Marlins hit, then he was watching, obviously, his hitters hit. And guys were talking about, hey, it's a big park, it plays big. Parra swings and misses. Baylor turned and said, you know, when I was a rookie and walked into Yankee Stadium for the first time, that was before they had remodeled it. And he said it was, what, 450 out?
460, I think, to left center.
To the monuments?
Yeah.
And just some ungodly number to straightaway center. And then he said, I looked down to left field line, it was 305 or whatever it was. And he said, I knew I needed to start pulling the ball in that ballpark.
Down the right field line at the old configuration of Yankee Stadium was 296 right down the line.
And Baylor said, you know what? You adjust. He was a strong man and a fast man. He was a very good base stealer in his time. O-2 pitch coming, and a throw over to first. Goldschmidt is back. It's not only weather day with lots of kids, but we've seen a lot of business folk here. This ballpark is just 10 blocks from downtown Miami and the financial center. 31,006 the attendance here on a rainy, wet, stormy day. Counts 1-2.
Kids enjoying weather day here at the ballpark.
Many of the kids, I believe, have headed for the buses and headed back to school. Webb gets a strikeout. Parra goes down swinging. So Ryan has a couple of outs here in the 7th, and A.J. Pollock is coming up.
Story, two-time cancer survivor. You wrote a book too, describing not only that, but also all the things you've achieved athletically, which is climbing the top peak in all 7 continents.
Pretty much, yeah. I was diagnosed in, when I was 13 with Hodgkin's lymphoma. I was given 3 months to live. Then when I was 16, I was diagnosed with Askin sarcoma, given 14 days to live. I have one lung, was in a coma for a year of my life, read my last rites, and I became the first cancer survivor to climb Mount Everest and then do the 7 summits.
Wow. And you did all, it's an unbelievable story. You wrote a book about it.
It's called Keep Climbing. You can probably get it at Amazon.com for cheaper than the price of the book, just for shipping. And
cancerclimber.org is your website, cancerclimber.org. Of the 7 peaks that you climbed, which one was the toughest?
Well, the toughest, without a doubt, was Everest, but then Denali, also Mount McKinley, gave me a lot of problems. But I take a group up every year, up Kilimanjaro. I've been up there 6 or 7 times, and we're doing it again this July if anybody's interested.
What drove you to do something that challenging?
Yeah, it's a good question. Still not quite sure, but I wanted to give hope and inspiration to people touched by cancer.
Well, good for you, Sean. Thanks for your time, too, and it's a great story. And how'd Niner do, by the way, when you saw him up close and personal at the triathlon? Now, we know he did well, but you saw him.
Oh, he just zipped right by me on the bike. that was before he gained that weight.
Okay, I got to tell him you said that. Did you hear that, guys? Back to you.
Hey, he's beaten cancer twice. He can take Niner easily. Henry Blanco swing and a miss. Ryan Webb has struck out the last 3 that he's faced. The Marlins trying to make a late charge here at the Diamondbacks. Arizona got 2 runs in the 2nd, a big 5-run 4th. And the Marlins on their heels. They had fallen behind 8-0 yesterday and lost 8-4.
Hadn't had a sacrifice bunt in about 2 years, and he bunted into a double play, bunted right in front of the plate. The catcher started a double play.
Well, that's what I was talking about earlier. Sometimes the situation calls for it, but if you don't have the right personnel, why bother? Well, here you go, Jay.
He's pinch hit before. He's
Last chance.
100 career average with a homer. Schaefer's on deck. Jay this season 2 for 10. He looks at ball 1. He pinch hit against the Pirates last July 17th. Bud Norris would be another candidate. Bud's 2 for 11 hitting this year. Strike, and it's 1-1.
I think what would be the the equivalent in other sports to come back from this situation.
Oh.
4th and 30 at your 3-yard line.
Maybe.
Time 3 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, dire straits. 2 outs, nobody on, trailing by 2 in the 12th with the pitcher pinch hitting.
But we've talked about it forever. The Hap game. You remember the Hap game?
Oh, it happens. Bonifacio over in left center field. Bullpen action for the Astros. Hap takes a cut. Fouls.
Jay.
Yeah. 2-2. A week from tonight, a brand new homestand begins with the Milwaukee Brewers here for 2, followed by Texas for 3 and the Cubs for 3. Hap looks at strike 3, and the Marlins take this one to grab 2 of 3 in this series. Another extra inning battle, and the Miami Marlins have won all 3 extra inning games from the Astros. They take this one in 12. Final score: Marlins 5, Astros
3. Jose Dawes. Ryan Webb working with Sean Rodriguez at the plate. Up the middle. Fonte was playing him there, and he throws him out.
I noticed everybody very well behaved up there, Craig included.
So Anibal Sanchez goes 6 innings, and now Ryan Webb takes over. Marlins, with the short start of Zambrano, 2 1/3 inning, really had to go to the bullpen, and Ozzie had to use some guys he didn't want to use. One of those, especially Sandy Rosario, who had thrown 2 innings the night before. And Rosario, a closer in AAA, used to working just that 1 inning. He worked 2 the night before, and last night he got knocked around late, gave up 3 runs on 4 hits and didn't get an out.
That's always tough for a manager, and all managers a few times during the year have to do that. Have to go to a pitcher they'd probably like to stay away from.
Randy Choate and Steve Cishek worked last night as well. And Shields strikes out. So Webb has the first 2 outs of the 7th. At Marlins Park, you can see the Marlins and the park, and secure your seats through a variety of season ticket and mini plan options. Save money off the box office prices. Enjoy all the benefits of being a Marlins season ticket holder. Pick up your plan today, 1-877-MARLINS, or go to marlins.com.
Padres down a run, and Jason Bartlett at the plate. Takes a slider for a strike. Bartlett 0 for 2, did walk and score a run in the 3rd inning. Facing Ryan Webb. I think that actually hit the bat. Tried to check.
See the movement on that ball? It's like a wiffle ball.
Yeah. Dancing around. Choate, left-hander.
Take a look at the action on this pitch. He goes off the glove and then off the shin guard of the umpire, huh?
Yeah. It was called a strike, and Buddy Black is wondering the same thing. I thought that hit the bat at first, but it didn't hit the bat. That pitch was way inside. I'm not exactly sure how that was called a strike. Now they're going to get together. Adrian Johnson and the first base umpire, who was the crew chief, Gary Cedarstrom. I was kind of fooled by that, too.
I don't think that
didn't hit him. That did not hit the bat, unless they're saying it was a swing, but there was no appeal made. So they'll gather, find out what each other saw. But at first glance and at first sound, I actually thought that sound of the ball hitting off the catcher's glove was the ball hitting off the bat. Buddy Black not happy with the result of that decision, which he thinks is a poor decision.
take a look. Okay. Ball definitely does not hit the bat. And he says foul ball with the arm action right up, foul ball, right?
Yeah.
Not even close.
Bad break right there.
Wow.
One and two. And that means that all the other three guys didn't see it either.
Right. I mean, it's clear from the center field angle. That ball wasn't even close to the barrel of the bat. Well, make it hurt right here. How about a ground ball to the center fielder?
And strike three. So 2 outs, both on strikeouts. And Andy Perino bats for the first time.
Slider down and away after 2 seamers in. You see Jason Bartlett way out in front. All arms on that swing.
We kid and kibitz because we love.
Want to know to Jeff Baker. Baker, a couple of hits. Double, single. He had the best approach against Burley. Stayed back, he waited. Off-speed stuff, he was able to get the good part of the bat on it.
Also a good opportunity, and he's making the most of it for Ryan Webb to come in and get an inning. He's made some good pitches.
He got breaking ball, and it counts 1 and 2, and the Fish are a strike away. One, two. Got him. Breaking ball. Game over. Marlins win it 9-1. A 5-2 win in the first game of the series. They follow it up tonight with an outstanding start from Mark Burley. Another home run from Hanley Ramirez. A big fly from Donnie Murphy. And the Marlins, after stumbling out of the gate, have pulled even at 500, are now 6-6. We will wrap it up from Marlins Park. A 9-1 win for the.
Somebody's got to.
Last night, in frustration, slammed his bat in the dugout, and it bounced back and cut him in the face. Now, frustration like that, that's happened to even the best of players. That's even happened to you as a young player.
It happened to me in 1962 when an 8-year-old child was near the Atlanta Crackers dugout. And I went over and I slammed the bat down. It broke, cracked in two, came about 6 inches from hitting the 8-year-old boy who was behind the dugout. And I told myself I'll never slam a bat down again. And with few exceptions, I did. With few exceptions. There were a few, however.
3 years ago, it took Troy Tulowitzki out of the Rockies lineup for a good 3 weeks when he did the same thing and cut his hand. No. Well, now that we're on the national subject, Cole Hamels, 5 games. Jim Leland thinks not enough. A lot of people in baseball have chimed in feeling he deserves more than 5 games for throwing at Harper and then saying, I was throwing at him on purpose.
Yeah, obviously, I think Cole, the one thing he's learned is not to throw at hitters, but never admit it like he did. I mean, I was very surprised that, I mean, it wasn't in retaliation to anything. I mean, he just admitted that he hit him. And, you know, that's half the suspension that Juan Marichal got when he hit John Roseboro in the head and laid his head open in 1965. So I think the suspension was proper.
Mike Nickius up. Another run for the Mets, an 8-3 lead in the 8th. Ryan Webb. Got him on the 1-2. Webb slipped on the delivery. South Beach in Miami, and the Mets are enjoying their stay today.
Responsibility. What's your policy? Here's Placido Polanco. Polanco's 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored in tonight's game. Little looper. Foul. Ooh, nice catch. That was a really good catch.
It was a one-handed grab.
Talk about sizing it up, making the play.
Phillies hit some balls hard tonight too, which is encouraging. You know that they really hadn't hit the ball all that hard, and tonight they've hit them hard. They hit them soft. They had a few breaks, and they got a great starting pitching performance by Roy Halladay.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Braves have opened it up. They lead the Astros 4-1. Jason Hayward has 2 hits and an RBI. David Ross had a 2-run base hit that broke the 1-1 tie. And a called strike 3. Polanco goes down looking. And 2 outs here in the 8th.
Brian Webb from the Clearwater area. His dad, Hank Webb, pitched for the New York Mets and has been involved in a lot of charitable activity.
The catching because Baxter pinch hit for Nickias.
We told you Johnson is a candidate tomorrow to catch R.A. Dickey. Infield in. Webb against Johnson. And a breaking ball for a strike. Cedeno is the runner at third base. And of course Baxter is at second. Johnson, a good catch and throw guy, always has struggled to hit in the big leagues. He was hitting .291 in Buffalo.
Yeah, hit just 190 last year, 67 games for the Padres. You mentioned up and down with Seattle a few years.
Time called. I don't know if that got loose from the bull. It probably came from the seats, but a ball loose on the field. No one throwing in the Marlins pen. Well, the roster move that the Marlins made was to bring Mike Dunn up because they wanted a lefty, especially with the Mets in here this weekend. But Ozzie Guillen has been reluctant to get him in the 8th. Squeezes on. Johnson puts it down, foul.
I wasn't sure when it was going to happen, but you had to have that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, especially when you got a batter at the plate who doesn't swing the bat that well. You kind of bail him out if he gets a chance to get it down.
Good job.
You get a run for it.
Yeah, good job by the runner. Actually, it wasn't a very good pitch to bunt. Johnson did a good job just fouling it off.
Going back to Dunn, I think sometimes a manager has a tough job as far as protecting his players, and I think with the struggles that Dunn had earlier, Ozzie didn't want to bring him into a pressure-filled situation. Kind of wants to get him in some game situation where there isn't that much pressure on it. But that may have been of what we saw tonight.
Swing and a miss. Johnson goes down. That's the problem in the big leagues, though. You can't always control whether it's a soft landing or a difficult one.
Oh, that's why it's the big leagues. There's no higher level than this. So there's all.
Angel Pagan has driven in 3 of the Giants' 5 runs. Giancarlo Stanton, his 9th home run in May. His 10th on the season. Maybe his 2nd longest of the season. For a home run when it's all said and done with the true distance maybe approaching 450, 455-ish. Vogelsong will lead it off. Gregor Blanco and Brandon Crawford will follow.
Well, Bruce Bochy liked what he saw in Vogelsong's last inning. He's at 103 pitches. So he's going to go back out there. He only threw 9 pitches in the 6th inning.
Bullpen was used a lot in Milwaukee. They had an extra inning game, 13 innings. But as I noted, they didn't give up a run. Braves tonight without Chipper Jones. Left calf and ankle area.
Yeah, he actually got hit in that ankle and calf fielding a ball. I think it was in St. Pete against the Braves.
They tried to remove some fluid from that area, but apparently the leg now feels worse than it did before they attempted the procedure, which in this story on MLB.com is called milking. That doesn't sound fun. Here's the 2-2. Outside corner. Ryan Webb into his 2nd inning of relief strikes out Ryan Vogelsong.
Yeah, Ryan Webb came on, got a couple of nice outs to shut things down in the 6th. His spot was coming up when Chris Coughlin made the last out. Ryan Peterson was on deck, so had somebody reached base, he wouldn't be back out there. But the fact that his spot is still due up next inning, he goes.